Okay, but what are y'all paying for your car payment? Because now you have me confused. Because $650 is a lot. It's a lot. I would rather not pay it. Don't love that. However, I do love my car. However, she's not a fancy sports car. I have a 2023, might be a 2022, I don't remember. Kia Sorento. Nice SUV. I loved her. I love her. Again, I love her. But it's not fancy by any means. I would consider it a normal car for a mom, for a family. Also, that monthly payment includes like my warranty with Kia. So anytime my light comes on, anytime I need my oil changed, they got me, and that's nice. And also our credit is good. Before you say our credit's bad, that's why my payment is high. And before you say they must have got me on some crazy interest rate, I'm pretty sure we went back and forth with the dealer and USAA, and we went with the USAA, and I think we got like 2 or 3%. So none of that is a factor. We weren't bought into anything. We just got a brand new car, which I felt like was a good purchase, and I still do feel like is a good purchase and a good monthly investment, though it does make me sad. Simply because I'm a mother, I'm a homeschool mom especially. We're always doing things. Now I work. I need a reliable car. We're also traveling across the state line all the time. I need something that's reliable, and you never know what you're getting from a used car. So let me know what you pay for a brand new SUV within the last few years, because I thought that was normal.
Would you pay $1,400 a month on the car of your dreams? And if not, what is the most you would pay or the most you have paid and been comfortable with that? My dream car is a Tahoe. I have always wanted to have a Tahoe for many, many years now. However, I watched a video last night of a girl saying after 3 years of paying $1,400 on her $84,000 Tahoe, she bought it new at the time, she decided that it was no longer worth that and she was trading it in for something cheaper. And like when I heard her say that she was paying $1,400 a month on a car note, I just was like, no. Personally, out. I could never do that. I couldn't spend more than $1,000 a month on a car note in order for me not to be literally sick every single month when I had to pay that. Now, it'd be different if someone like has a decent large amount of money and like $1,400 was just a drop in the hat and it was no big deal. That's different. But I feel like from what I see, a lot of people who buy the very expensive trucks, the very expensive SUVs, a lot of them end up going car broke because they're obsessed with their vehicle, but now they have no extra money on sometimes even necessities. And that's not for me. That is not for me. Now, if you can afford it and still not have to struggle, that's something different. But I just can't, in today's economy especially, imagine paying $1,400 on a vehicle. I am glad for her, whoever she was, that she realized that was no longer worth it, because she said she was only paying off like $10,000 a year and she was paying thousands of dollars in interest. And I'm sorry, but at some point you just have to tap out and be like, I love that vehicle, but I'm just not that dumb. I can't lose that amount of money in interest. Just can't do it.
Hey, I don't mean to be all up in y'all business, but is it true that some of y'all out here paying more than $1,000 a month for your car payments? That means that if you have a significant other and they're driving a relatively new car, that y'all could possibly be paying $2,000 or more a month for car payments? That's the same amount a lot of people are paying every month for their mortgage or rent. I mean, once again, I don't mean to be all up in your business, but how y'all making y'all money? Because I want to grow up to be like y'all. Because right now, my bank account is set up to do either or. I can pay a car payment, but I probably won't have a roof over my head. Or I can pay the mortgage, and I probably be walking every place. But I just need to know. Let me know. Is this true?
I work at a small independent buy here, pay here. And one thing I'm starting to see a trend of, because I've gotten multiple phone calls in the last 2-3 weeks of people that have been making their car payments with what happens to be most of the time Toyota Financial, that they just can't afford their payments anymore. And they're like, hey, can you get us approved before and just give us this car back? And this is scary to me because there's so much going on. I'm seeing so many people going through the same exact thing where life is just so expensive that they can't keep their car payments, and they've been paying them for 2 or 3 years, but they're willing to give them back. I'm seeing more bankruptcies. I'm seeing student loans. I'm seeing a lot of people that are good people that make decent money just not being able to afford life. Rent is going up. Interest rates are through the roof. Car payments are through the roof. Car insurance is through the roof. So let me know if you're seeing the same thing, if you're in the car business, or if you're feeling this in real life, because I would joke around with my better half, and I'd say it's like 100 a day, like between raising these kids, diapers, and groceries. But that same 100 is now almost like 150. If you go to the market now, what used to be like 60, 70 is now like 100, 110. And if you were spending 100, you're now spending 150. And people are starting to feel this crunch. I don't know what is going on, but are you noticing this too? Things are so ridiculously expensive, and we're just out here trying to survive. But what scares me is I'm starting to see the same thing over and over. People with decent jobs that have decent credit and make decent money that just can't afford to live anymore because everything else is becoming so much more expensive. Let me know if you're going through this too, because I can tell you this, we are struggling ourselves. Like, things are so expensive. We don't eat out as much as we used to. We definitely don't eat out as much as we used to. We eat at home so much. We haven't done anything extravagant. We've cut way back. We don't have cable, and things are just rough. We're trying to save up and buy a house, and houses are $500,000 for detached condos that are HOAs. So things are nuts. Things are crazy expensive, and I'm scared to see what's going to happen next. But hopefully something happens and we can all get housing back to being affordable and get the prices down on things. Don't make this political either. Whatever you do, don't make this political. I'm just saying what I see. And it is absolutely crazy expensive just to live day to day now.
If you follow me, you know that I'm looking for a car payment. I want to tell you what the dealership told me, or the man that was trying to sell me a car. When we went up there, he was like, in today's time, $1,300, that is the new still. That is the new payment. That's what everybody's paying. Because I was like, I don't want to pay like anywhere towards 9, 8, 7, 6. Like, I don't want none of that. And he's like, in today's time, that's unrealistic. He said, you'll never get a $300 payment, $400 payment in 2025. That's not happening. And I just want to know, because what is your car payment? Because every time I talk to somebody, and I went to a few different dealerships, and they're like, no, like the thousands, that is the cheap payment. $1,000 is the cheap payment. So I want to know from real people out there, are you paying $1,000 for your car payment? What about your insurance? If you're paying $1,000 and something dollars, what about your $300 payment? Like, am I crazy? I can't pay that. I just can't. I'm literally making my husband, not making, but I'm deciding, like, I don't want another vehicle. Like, yeah, I want to leave, but I just morally, I can't pay $1,000 for a car that goes A to B. I just can't. I can't. Unless you're gonna gift me one and be maybe a sugar baby, but I can't. I can't.
So I spent hours at a dealership because the car salesmen love to like prolong the amount of time you're there trying to get you to sign a deal. So basically I went in wanting to trade my car in that I owe a lot of money on. Let's just be transparent. I owe $17,000 on this car, and it's only worth about like $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 max, because it just has so much negative equity. Like, I was so desperate for the car when I signed for it that I didn't realize what I was getting myself into. And don't get me wrong, like, I love my car. It was the car that I've always wanted, but my credit wasn't the best at the time. I was making the money, but I didn't have the credit. And my friend's mom, who's like a mother to me, she decided that she would co-sign for it so that way I could get the car. And the intention was she was going to sign for me to get the car, and then as soon as possible I was going to refinance the car so that way I could take her off the loan. Well, immediately after signing, the car just wasn't worth what it was sold for, so I couldn't find any lender who would want to take over this loan. So basically me and her are stuck on this car loan until I pay it down or pay it off. And basically I was just curious. I was like, well, let me go to a dealership and see, because it's been a few years now. I was like, let me see if a dealership will put me in a new loan where they'll just add the negative equity to a new loan, because it happens. There's dealerships that can make it happen. And let's just like see if I can get a loan under my name and just add the negative equity to it, so that way I can get my friend's mom off the loan. Turns out there's just so much negative equity on this car that the dealership rejected the trade, and they said, unfortunately, we can't take this car, but this is still an offer for you to sign. Like, this is what you would pay each month if you still want the car. And I was gonna get like a Tesla, because you know I was test driving one. I was like, this is really nice, and there was a deal on like electric vehicles. They'll take $4,000 off and put it towards your down payment if you get an electric vehicle, because there's a tax credit for the electric vehicles that they're selling. But so yeah, and I spoke to my friend's mom. I was like, so they're saying I can sign today. I would be approved by myself, which wasn't the case before. I needed a cosigner in the past, but now I'm like, oh, I got approved for myself. But I would still be responsible for my current car because they're not going to take it as a trade-in. So I asked her, I was like, do you want, because she's looking for a new car, I was like, do you want to just take over for this car and I get a new car? And she made a good point. She was like, you don't want to get yourself out of a bad deal for another bad deal. She was like, look at the numbers, figure out if they're offering you a good deal. And to be honest, they weren't. Like, it would have been another expensive car payment, high interest rate. So it's like, what's the point of leaving a bad situation for another bad situation? So I decided, I was like, because I can't trade in my current car for a new car, that just voids, like, my curiosity was, what would my car payment look like if I were to add negative equity to a new car loan? And they can't trade my car in, so it's like that defeats the whole purpose of what I was looking for today. So I told him, I was like, yeah, I can't sign for a new car today because y'all aren't able to take my old car for a trade-in. Like, it defeats the whole purpose of why I came here today. And they just kept trying to get me to sign. They were like, well, I spent all these hours with you, you even initialed this. And he had me initial something that said, if you're able to get me 0 down today, I'll get a new car. I just initialed it because I was like curious, like, what will my new payments look like? And I'm just like, well, this wasn't legally binding. Like, what you had me sign isn't a legal contract. So I said, y'all aren't able to take my car for a trade-in. That literally is why I brought my car in today, because I was hoping y'all would be able to take my car for a trade-in, but y'all are telling me there's just too much negative equity on it that y'all aren't even willing to take it. So I was like, no, I'm not gonna sign for a car today. And it's like, they just kept trying to get me to sign something, and I'm just like, no. So yeah, all in all, this teaches me, like, all those years, like, few years ago, I should not have signed for a new car, because now I'm stuck with this like $10,000-$11,000 negative equity that I have to pay because, like, no one will take it. Even if I were to sell the car for $10,000, I'm still gonna owe at least $7,000 out of pocket. So like, I really fucked myself getting this car, and I feel bad that my friend's mom is stuck to this car loan too. So it just taught me today, I was like, I'm just gonna have to figure out how to pay for this car because I owe it. And it'd be different if I was on it by myself. I could just surrender the car and pay whatever difference, whatever they sell this car for, just pay the difference, and it would affect my credit. But the fact that I have my friend's mom on this car loan too, like, I'm not gonna do that because I'm not gonna fuck her credit up. So I have to pay it back. And this is just a lesson to y'all, like, your car salesmen know what kind of deal they're putting you in. So be careful what you're signing, because the car salespeople don't give a fuck what they're putting you through. Don't sign it. Like, unless you know that you have a good percentage on it. Like if you owe like 20% on the car, do not fucking sign it. I know the car seems nice now, but in a few years, the car is going to be worth way less than what you signed for, and you're not going to be able to get a refinance. So you're going to be stuck with a big debt. So unless you have money to pay towards the principal, don't sign it. Don't sign it, because I made that mistake, and now I'm stuck with a car that owes a ton of money. So